Alrighty, yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis Rick here, back with, I guess, a standard series that we've done now. We're going to be doing a overview and opinions video on the latest 2017 DNF Winter Festival, which I've done pretty much every time they have a festival, and honestly, I cannot believe that it is already 2017. Because it just feels like yesterday that I did the Winter Festival last year, and it's already been a year since then. It's crazy, guys. But you know, it's gonna be some exciting stuff, some stuff you've probably been waiting for. A new class, yet another one. And they like doing this at the Winter Festival, and we'll talk about that, of course. We'll have some video gameplay footage already, but same thing as last year, guys. We're just going to go over it and do some opinions. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to YukinoKaori. I usually do this using Jay's translations, and he's very famous in the community for doing the translations. However, this year, with the whole DFO Nexus going down, and I mean, we do have, it's back up under new management, but he was a little bit slow this time around, so we have other people we have to reference. I've got actually a couple different posts. Yukino did the initial kind of translation, and then JKRowlling came in and kind of cleaned it up, and even MetalPlate did some follow-up on more details like that. So we've got a lot of different sources, so I'm giving a shout-out to those three people, Yukino, JKRowlling, and MetalPlateMage. Thank you, because I'm going to use your guys' info in the video, so I appreciated that. But guys, the first thing that's on here, I don't know if this is done in order. It's hard to say. I sadly was at work this year during the festival, so I did not get to see it live, and that's kind of the hype about seeing it live. I like streaming that because, you know, we get to see the content the same way that Koreans do, and they get revealed and the hype is real. But, you know, we get it after the fact, and that's okay too. If you're just watching this video and you don't know the news, then this is the first time you've heard of it. But guys, we got a new class, and I think I will talk about it at the start, since it's the first thing, because I want to give a few of my opinions. I don't want this to be like the tone that I go with this video, because I am excited about a ton of stuff, but when it comes to this new class, I've got some like bad taste in my mouth, it kind of feels like, and we'll show some footage. In fact, we'll just go ahead and show it now. I'll give my opinions afterwards, but guys, this is like the initial gameplay footage they show for pretty much all the classes. So this is like the, I guess, teaser animation. I'm going to give a link to all of these videos that I'm showing right now. I don't want to go over this one since there's not a lot of gameplay. Basically, this is how he looks like, though. And this is going to be, hopefully, we'll see how he actually plays. Yes, you can see he's using a gun and a sword both. And I think we'll be able to get a look at him. Look at him. Just look at him. Kill that kid, man. Yes, he is a grandpa. It's Grandpa, guys. We got a Grandpa DFO. He's pretty badass. The obvious parallels here being a white-haired guy who uses a sword and a gun. Who is it? Fucking guess. It's Dante. They got Dante in DFO now, guys. So, needless to say, last year when I complained about the darkness in the edge that they did to the female priest, or whenever I complained about that, you know, it's like I didn't really care for it, obviously. Now here they're doing it again. So again, I'll talk about it a little bit more detail. Here's the more standard gameplay footage that they have for him. Here's the two classes that they're going to reveal. This is going to be a subclass that has all four classes, and here are just two of them. I think this guy's name is the Agent. He has a lot of gun moves right now, but he also, he has like a lot of teleporting moves, and he throws a sword. Okay, so it's hard to tell whether or not what's his primary weapon in this case. I'm assuming it's a sword, and then, you know, the gun is secondary, but he's shooting a lot, you know, so hard to tell. This guy is a little bit different. He uses a lot slower weapons. That's a shotgun and a great sword or a Zon. I don't believe it's going to be Zon. It's going to be its own weapon type, but has to be determined. Has a net trap. Has a lot more bursty skills. Not teleporting around as much. Grenades. He's like a Spitfire with the Zon. I think this guy's name is Specialist or something. So here you go. Those are the two classes. Just pausing on that. The one on the left seems more assassin, quick type of attacks, which a lot of teleporting around. This guy's a lot more slower, deliberate, big damage, and big AoEs with big heavy weapons. So kind of like your standard kind of affair when we're talking about class design. I guess that's about it for that one. Here's some more gameplay footage I found. This is actually done at the venue. You know, whenever they reveal a new class, they probably have like booths that you can go to, and this is one of them, and people were trying it out. And again, this is the agent again, and much the same. He's using the sword quite liberally here. He's throwing it, good stuff right there. Huge damage, man, or huge AoE, I would say. I don't know about his. Actually, I take that back. He's doing a lot of crit though. That's like 100% crit. Look at that. I didn't notice that. He is not crit, and he's only at Ghent. He's level 75. I don't know if that's event gear or if that's his specialty, that he doesn't have to stack crit. But usually at this level, you have to intentionally try. No class in the game can really just get crit without trying at all, unless they're really stacked in gear. But this seems like a passive as his. We'll check with the other class, but that would be surprising. This would be a class that gets 100% crit without trying, and that means you can stack a lot of other stats to kind of compensate over the fact that he doesn't even have to worry about crit. It's pretty awesome. If that's the case, I don't know. So his AoE is a little bit lackluster, just looking at it, but he has some pretty good mobility. Obviously, you can tell this is a completely unique class. It has its own sprite model. It's going to probably have its own costumes. It's a new class. That's how it works. And like I said, there's going to be 4 subclasses, and these are just the first 2. Okay, good dash attack there. Has like a wild shot or a multi-headshot right there. Okay. It seemed like in that move right there, he kind of like teleported to the boss specifically and then grouped everybody up. Let's see. Teleported over there, shifted all over, did like a shadow cut on the boss, and then killed everybody. That was weird. I don't like the idea of just like automated skills, but there's another multi-headshot. So, okay, he seems like pretty standard affair when it comes to like a hybrid kind of assassin type of character with a gun. I don't know what his specialty is right now, though. Aside from the whole crit thing, it seems to be about the only thing I see very special about him. But we'll go ahead into the troubleshooter, guys. And this guy is not critting everything, but he still has some pretty high crit. It might be a specialty of the old man or something, guys. A lot slower and deliberate. Look at his weapons, man. That looks stupid almost. Grenades. Okay, that one right there didn't crit, so. He's still critting so high, though. It's like the weapons or the passives or something like that. That's pretty absurd at that level. There's a big AoE grenade. He is a lot slower. And not a lot of mobility. I don't see him teleporting around. Getting a launch. Nice blunderbuss. Ooh, big slam. Grenade? Man, that big ass thing didn't kill that guy? Dude, that was way too flashy to not kill. Oh my god. Okay. Ooh, there's a net. Man, I like the animation of that skill. It looked very dynamic right there. Get dodged. Yo, he got dodged, man. He got wrecked. So again, it's looking like his specialty is more AoE focused, but he does seem to have like these shotgun, like bursty type moves, so that might still be very good for like that one right there, like a grab shotgun blast. Good for single target. Bam! Huge move right there. These guys are 75. They're huge AoE right there. So these guys are 75. They will have their second awakenings when they actually go live. We'll talk about this because there's other smaller nuances about these classes we'll go over, but when they get released, they'll actually have their second awakenings already unlocked. It's not a matter of us, oh, let's wait for 3 or 4 months while the class has been out, get them to max level, and then we'll release the second awakening. This time, they're actually going to have it from the start, which is going to be obviously a godsend. Alrighty. This is taking a lot longer to kill this guy, so I don't know if this guy's just weaker at this level. Never judge just from this test environment of how strong a class is, but if this is what you're interested in, I guess this might. Oh, okay, that skill looked cool. He put like a explosive on his sword or something. Yeah, he attached like a claymore on his sword and slammed it down. That is a cool animation, dude. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Anyway, good finisher right there. Dang, Erebus. Anyway, so there's the gunner class. I think that's about all the video footage I want to show. There's a little bit of extra info. For instance, we've got pistol leather, close range battle. He did have a lot of teleportation skills though, so that should be not that big of an issue. The caster introduced the class as pure deeps. Pure deeps. So no worry about any support or anything. He's just going to do damage. Which we'll see how well, you know, when they say pure deeps, it's like in comparison to some of the sub deeps or support type characters, it almost seems underwhelming sometimes when you have a pure deeps character and the sub characters are doing way more damage. So as far as what I saw there, hopefully he can scale very well as just a pure deeps, right? And then the other guy seems to the troubleshooter, heavy blade, shotgun, heavy armor, got bombs and roll skills. Okay, and we saw that. So we saw those two videos that are linked right there. The next two classes, by the way, are going to be Hitman, which is going to use a long blade and a submachine gun. That one actually sounds pretty tight. And then he'll have, okay, so he's going to be like a support class, similar to Paladin, which Paladin is one of those characters I was talking about, where it's like, yeah, Paladin can play support, but her damage is like kind of crazy too if she really geared out, you know? Oh, shit. If she really geared out. So hopefully in this case, you know, the agent has a chance against somebody like the Hitman, which is almost certainly going to be more popular just because of his synergy available. This is kind of what I'm talking about. The meta right now in DFO is kind of geared towards these types of classes by virtue of what they can do. Hitman is probably going to be more popular than both of these guys, period, you know. But moving on, specialists, he's going to have core blade, core pistol. I don't know what that is. Core. But I guess he's going to be the cloth class, so probably some kind of magic, some kind of maybe even a mechanic type of class, which I guess there's that. There's not a lot of details aside from the names, so I guess we'll find out on the 22nd of when about more about these classes. Most likely these characters are already designed, so it's not a huge like it's going to be some kind of new thing they got to develop. These are already created, and these guys are going to be released in the the January 18th. So it's going to be like really soon. Actually, that's January of 2018. So I'm going to say either January. Sorry, that's January 18th. What am I talking about? Anyway, guys, so that is the Gunblader class. Let me give my opinion again. I don't think I'm very hype about these characters. And it's not the... it's really just in the face of what DFO was lacking when they go to brainstorm new ideas. Dante was not on the list of characters I feel like DFO is missing, right? I mean, we have guns, we have blades, but we don't have a combination of the two, right? So let's go ahead and make this guy Dante. And I'm not saying it's not a unique idea to make 4 classes out of Dante. A gun and a sword, right? That's pretty cool. But really what I'm saying here is, where's the archer, dude? The archer is such a standard archetype that this game has yet to offer, right? And I know there's gunners, and gunners shouldn't replace archers, though. Archers are like standard stuff. You got the swordsman. You got the swordsman/knight. You've got the mage. Where's the archer, dude? And the gunner is not an archer, right? Like, don't even start this shit. So I'm not really frustrated in the class because its gameplay is bad, because it looks kind of interesting, and of course I'm going to make one and I'm going to try him out, and especially the agent looks pretty fun. Maybe he's more fun than, you know, an assassin in this game. But I'm dying for an archer, man. It may come as a surprise, but archer is a subclass that I really like, an archetype that I really enjoy playing. Mostly because I play him unorthodox and I go in and I'm offensive, but that's besides the point. What I'm saying here is there is like a big hole, a big gap in our humongous roster that is 9 characters now, right? If we add these characters into the whole roster of KDNF, 59 characters exist in the game then. There is a humongous hole in this weave of characters that they've made, and that's the archer subtype or subclass. Don't tell me Glacial Master has a fucking bow and arrow, because you're an asshole. Don't tell me gunners are archers, because they're not. And there's so many like unique ideas they could do. It's not even unique. It's like, dude, just do a standard fucking ranger. He has arrows, he has AoE, arrow shots. Like, dude, it's simple stuff here. But for some reason, they don't want to look at it. Instead, they'll give us this Dante motherfucker. They'll give us a, creator. They'll give us Dark Knight. They're just like, it seems like these, almost like those kinds of ideas, Dark Knight, creator, and this guy are like a lack of ideas. Let's go ahead and merge characters now. We have Gunner, we have Slayer, but we don't have the combination, What are they going to do next, man? We have a monk and we have a mage. We don't have like a magic punching guy. Let's make him, It's like, I know that's kind of over the top, but that's my opinion on it. If you're not waiting for Archer, then I know you're not waiting for Dante. Right? I would say that Dante is a small niche of the edgelord fuckboys that want Dante, and a much larger majority of people who are waiting for this archetype of the Archer. That's just my opinion. If you were going to bring a brand new class, you've still got, you still got an opportunity to make anybody. I mean, there's so many characters in this game. That's what I'm kind of hoping for next time whenever they make a character. But these characters are already done, so no point crying over something that's well already past the point of complaining about it, right? They're already made, all 4 subclasses, the ideas, probably the skills. It's just a matter of them releasing it, and that's going to be pretty soon. So, Gunblader, guys, obviously I'm not too hype about it. I'm really still just hype about the Paladin, really. I heard about the Paladin last year, and I still have yet to play it, and fuck, I've been waiting to play it, so hopefully in the near future I can play Paladin. But Gunblader, cool. I guess we'll play as a Grandpa in DFO, Grandpa Dante, and be the edgelord that he is. But let's move on, guys. So hopefully you guys will tell me whether or not you're fucking excited and how wrong I am. You want to see fucking Dante? Shut the fuck up, Rick. Again, I remind you, this is an overview and opinion, so you tell me yours. Okay, so let's move on. I will mention right now that some of this I'll skim over it because it's probably mentioned again in here, which is a much more succinct version of it. And this is more of like a broad stroke of it. But some of this stuff is like very particular to KDNF. So if it says something about PvP Season 5, for instance, we're not in PvP Season 5, and we're probably not even following the same schedule. So stuff like that, just kind of gloss over it. I mean, we can look at it. They're going to be epic grade PvP gears. Right now, it goes up to Legendary, and it's fucking hard as hell to farm. And they're saying they're making it easier to farm. So it's something that, like Yukino mentions right here, if you wanted to get the Colosseum armor top, that actually gives +2 to your swap skill. It's the best in slot, but trust me, farming that is no easy task. It is very, very difficult. Thousands of ranked matches you've got to win to get enough Colosseum stamps and shit like that. So it is so hard. I'm talking people who PvP only in this game cannot get this shit. That's how much you've got to do it. So they're going to make it easier to farm. That's a big deal. But at the same time, how much easier? I mean, I don't think it's going to be enough to the point where we can farm it legitimately, but we'll see about that. There's going to be an Explorer system revamp. I don't think they've kind of expanded on this, even in the other more detailed versions of this kind of overview. They really haven't expanded very much on it. They're going to give you rewards based on certain levels of proficiency. On other posts I saw, actually, let's go ahead and jump a little bit. Okay, on this post right here, it says they're adding a character collection that lets you select your main, which I don't know what that means, honestly, and a system that lets you send your team of choice, and then the reward depends on your party comp. This might be just kind of an allusion to what we get in the... if we can kind of pull up DFO right now. This might be allusion to what we get with the Mercenary system when we actually send people out. You might be able to send partial teams to each region, something like that. Because right now, currently, you are sending everybody on your list right now, and you only get one at a time. See, the mercenary group is already deployed, so maybe you're able to compose teams and go to different regions. If you do that, trust me, people who have a lot of alts like me aren't going to get shafted by this fucking terrible mercenary system, because, you know, this is not a comparable amount to how many people I've sent, you know. So if I can send several teams out, that's going to be a major improvement. And trust me, I've complained a lot about stuff like that the mercenary system is not very friendly towards people who make alts. There's not a lot of reason to. So hopefully we'll go back to that kind of concept with stuff like this. Again, there's not too much details, but I am looking forward to the fact that they're changing it. I'm just not looking forward to the fact that I've got to deal with the current system for the next year. Whatever, though. I seem to be like the only one like complaining about it, but then again, I'm like one of the chief abusers of a system like that. A lot of people just are kind of like indifferent to it because they're like, oh, it's free stuff and you don't have to work for it. It's like, well, you did work for it, but you know, it was prior, you know, you kind of invested into the Explorer system before, and now it's kind of like, yeah, you just forget about it. Anyway. All right, next up is going to be the Empire Colosseum. Now, the only like mention I've seen of it and extra details is actually just on this post, but it sounds really awesome, okay? It's going to be level 90 content, and what you do is you basically pick 2 of your own characters on your account, and you use them in like a tag type system. So my guess is you probably tab out and you switch to this other character. I don't know how well that's going to work. Like, can you pick one support character to buff up the main character? Or do you pick 2 offensive characters? And, you know, but either way, you're going to be fighting different mobs with different weaknesses, and it's going to be a special dungeon, and you'll get special gear depending on the clear. Now, there's not a whole lot of details. I think that's more of like a brainstorming. I don't see any videos on this stuff, but it sounds, I should say, very, very awesome. It kind of promotes the idea of making at least 2 characters who are decently geared, and you get Empire gear. We've never heard of it. It's like Econ. Is it stronger than Econ? My guess is it is. I've heard even some people mentioning that the gear that you get from this dungeon is like account bound, so you don't have to worry about you playing the characters that you want the gear on. You do it on any character you can do it on, and they give it to somebody else. If that's the case, I doubt these Empire gears are going to be like top tier. They might be a little like a tier lower than Econ, but even yet, farm on your main characters, give it to your alts, and they're going to be beastly. That sounds like a good deal, especially on a system that sounds unique in and of itself and fun to do. So I'm looking forward to stuff like that in DFO in terms of our end game content that you don't have to do, obviously. You probably might even skip over Empire gear and just go straight to like Econ or Hell farming, but the idea that you can do some cool content like this is always fun to me. All right, I don't want this video to take forever, guys, so I'll just kind of gloss over some of this. You'll be able to resize your UI proportionally, no matter what the size of the screen is. It sounds like a common thing that is for every like modern game can do this, right? You can change the UI however the fuck you want, but it's taken until now, some like 15 years later, and DFO finally got this capability. So there you go. Here's a huge change. Saint Horn, man. Dude, Saint Horn has gotten the brunt of all, like, updates and changes, man. They keep fucking changing Saint Horn all over the damn place. And in this case, they're going to be merging Saint Horn into just one dungeon. You have Ancients and OV currently. They're going to merge it into one dungeon. They say they're going to increase the drop chance. And, you know, you have a chance of meeting a boss like Gruff. You still need to use Endless Eternity, but it doesn't require FP anymore. So if you're trying to farm like your swap set, you don't need FP. There's probably still an entry limit though. So you get quest legendaries and OV gears as drops, and you get an increased chance based on the difficulty, which should have been the case anyway because of the infinite difficulty system. It just flabbergasted me that they implemented infinite difficulty but didn't give any incentive to increase the difficulty at all. Aside from the minimum, you know, you get level 3 is the same as level 50, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. So finally, they're going to be increasing the drop chance based on your difficulty, but they're merging it into one. I mean, OV, it seems to be like it should have been kept separate. I mean, honestly, if you want OV gear, it's way, way weaker, but it's a different intention for you to farm OV gear. Same thing with Ancients. Ancients is directly focused on trying to increase your character's strength, where OV is generally for memes or mostly for your swap set. So why are they merged into one? I don't know, but if they say that it's going to increase the drop chance and it'll be easier to farm, then I guess I'm not complaining, right? But at the same time, it's just kind of like, dude, why not keep it separate and just add this other stuff that you want to add? But hey, they keep changing Saint Horde. I don't know why, man. Anyway, moving on. We've got a Towers revamp. You can't get 80 gear anymore from the Anguish pots, which should have been the case anyway, man. Anguish pots, you have to do TOA, which is fucking hard. Let's just be honest here. TOA is not easy. In fact, some of the characters who are in like full Gracia / epics are getting wrecked in there. Kind of depends on what class you're playing, but dude, imagine going through the trouble, the slog of going up 100 floors of that shit, and then you get a level 80 gear twice or something like that. Like, fuck that shit, dude. You don't purchase pots. Instead, they're gonna drop as rewards. I guess this is on every time you kill a mob, which is kind of absurd to me because it kind of eliminates the idea of there being a goal to shoot for. And whenever they introduce this aspect of RNG, it could be the case that you go up 100 floors and you never see a pot, right? And I could assume that's the case because these are dropping epics as rewards. Epics, gears, right? So are they going to make epics so easily farmable? No, they got to, keep it maintainable. Otherwise, you're going to abuse it, right? You can go up TOA on at least 4 characters, and you're telling me that we're going to get a ton of pots out of that? That's just free DI. You think they're going to give that to us for free? So they're not going to keep the drop rates very high, in my opinion. And if they do that, how low are they going to keep it? Whatever they set that to, it better be high enough that when I get up to 100 floors, I better have at least seen it once. Otherwise, this is a nerf. In fact, I should have seen it twice because of the current pots right now. The armor pots, you can get 2 in TOA. It's only the accessory pot that you can only get 1. So anyway, like it says right here, you don't need to reach 100 floor to get rewards. You get 1 starting from floor 1. They only talk about TOA right now. I don't know if this actually changes. I think that means it's changing the TOD as well, which is, again, another concern for me. Anyway, the pot to open them, the price to open them is currently 5 million for TOD, and if you want the earrings in TOA, it's 10 mil. So they're reducing the price. They didn't mention what the price is, but it's hard for me to kind of condone this revamp without numbers, right? Because for me, I'm okay with spending 100 days or 100 entries, really, at least if I'm guaranteed. It's a goal to shoot for. It's why I do dailies. It's a consistent guaranteed thing. It's like when I farmed quest legendaries, it's like, okay, I have to put in the work, but I'm guaranteed to get the quest legendary. I put in the work, but I'm guaranteed to get some kind of epic weapon for my class. And they're removing that ability, it seems like, where it's not guaranteed. It's like, just keep doing it until it drops. And I hate introducing the RNG aspect to towers. Again, I can't really disavow it just yet because I don't know what the drop rates are, but I can't imagine they'd be that abusable or that high. So we'll see. It might be a nerf. It says revamp. It might be a severe nerf, in which case, fuck, we might be there on a character for a long ass time and just not get anything, but we'll see. That's me just being a skeptic. Maybe we're just going to abuse the shit out of it, which I highly doubt. Epic Revamp. This is a humongous thing for a lot of people at the hyper end game. We're talking Luke, Anton, and stuff. If you have an epic set, prepare your anus because there is so much. First of all the 85s are going to get buffed up, trying to make them more comparable to the 90 sets. Personally, I don't think they've mentioned it yet, but I think how you make the 85 sets comparable is fucking give them a 3-set effect. Right now, the 85 sets have the major downfall, and the reason why the 90 sets are just superior in every way is because you can get a partial set of the 90 set, and that partial set is going to be stronger than a whole 5 set of fucking 85. Like, make partial sets for the 85 first and foremost, then worry about the stats and stuff. But they're going to be changing all that either way, guys. They're going to buff up all the 85 sets, theoretically, make them a little bit stronger, or maybe give them a little bit of more effects. I'm talking, they must be like marginal changes, but they are changing the level 90 epic sets as well. They're finally giving 7 Sins usability, honestly. Right now, it's only used as a 3-set piece in support builds with Crusaders. Even only that specific pieces. You don't fucking upgrade 5 senses, or, 7 Sins from your Metal Line set. Fuck, Metal Line is probably as strong as the upgraded 7 Sins, as of right now. So, we're talking about the upgraded sets. They're going to be revamping the upgraded 90 sets, those doing Luke. So this is what I said, hyper endgame kind of mention. This is kind of hype for me because I have Metal Line set and I want to see the 7 Sins get buffed up because I want to use the Metal Line set or the upgraded Metal Line set. And as far as I've seen, it's going to be very strong, giving you a lot of skill attack, where right now it only gives like buffs to certain skills. It's awful. So this is a good change, which is obvious. It seems obvious now that they would go and do that since this set was so terrible compared to everything else, but they're gonna balance a lot of other stuff as well. I saw some changes already to some of the epic weapons. They were like the level 90 epic weapons. They took out some features of weapons. Maybe it had ignore defense. They took that out, but in place gave it even stronger of another stat. So stuff like that, small changes, quality of life. If you have your epics right now, or if it's trash right now, it most likely will be a lot better in the future. I don't want to go over all those changes because there's so many of them, and honestly, they're so far down the line. Just know that don't start trashing your epics because they're not good now. Right? If you have metal line, keep metal line, because Lord knows that you're going to regret it if you disassemble something that's going to be like top tier later. Moving on though, guys. Beast Dungeon. Okay. Now we talked about the Empire Colosseum. I really am excited for this, but the Beast Dungeon has got me really nervous because this content, guys, is the hardest content in the game. Straight up. Harder than loot, and you do it in a party of 4. There is some footage of this one, so I'll show this off. This is the hardest content that exists in the game right now. Yo, that is hardcore, man. Okay, we got Blood Mage. We know he's not going to be in this dungeon. We got the new Lancer. Forgot his name. Fuckboy. Paladin got wrecked, yo. Do you see that? The priest is like crying. Paladin got one shot. Damn, this shit must be hard. Anyway, as I said, this is the hardest content in the game. Some people have mentioned it's akin to like Monster Hunter. It's going to be in a larger map. I don't know if the boss like runs from you, but you go in a party of 4. I don't know why they're displaying it in a party of 1 because you can't do it. These guys have like 1 trillion HP, and it's the hardest content in the game. They have specific boss patterns. Obviously, they look pretty cool, and dude, these guys are nuts. I don't know how the lore is going to match out. Like, these guys are like several times stronger than apostles, man. Luke would have no chance against this asshole. Damn. And different forms, different attack patterns. You know, it's going to be like raid level bosses right now. People are getting, you know, you're probably some like party meta that you got to do. Wow, that guy did 100,000 damage. Good thing these are GM accounts or something, man. Like the boss got stunned there. Dude, how you dodging that? What is this shit? Damn, Paladin got wrecked. Anyway, so that is the display of the content. Now, I think this video right here is a video of them trying it out. I think this is on the test server. I'm going to go ahead and mute them, but yeah, this guy has like 1 billion HP. Look at the damage caps. They're just damage capping like crazy. And they have like a perfect meta. They have like a, you know, all these satyrs and stuff, but look at the HP, man. These damage caps like crazy, and they still are not doing anything. Like I said, I think it's like 1 trillion, and I don't know what the benefit of doing it is, but apparently you can use some of the items to kind of upgrade your level 90 accessories and stuff like that. So you can upgrade, like it says right here, you can upgrade your Infinite, 5 Senses, or Sky Traveler. Depending on which set you decide to upgrade, it may take more or less materials. But when you do, you can upgrade into this set, which I've seen some people do the math on it, and there's like a little bit of debate right now about whether or not the upgraded set is even stronger than 5 Senses, which it seems like it is, but you do the math and 5 Senses might still be stronger. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having an upgrade set fighting content that's harder than Luke. The Beast Dungeon's harder than Luke with trillions of HP, and then upgrading to an accessory set that's not as strong as fucking 5 Senses. So it's like you have to use 5 Senses to, you know, craft into the set, and it's not as strong as 5 Senses. Are you kidding me? I would say that it's a lot easier to get the effects of this set because you don't have to upgrade to plus 12 and shit like that. So anyway, what I'm saying here is, say you have like a few pieces of Infinite, or you have a few pieces of Sky Traveler. Maybe you just get rid of your Sky Traveler set and upgrade to this set. Keep your 5 Senses or something like that. Whatever floats your boat. What this means is keep any like epic accessory you get. I don't care if you have 5 Senses already. Keep your Sky Traveler pieces. Keep Infinites. Maybe make some Infinites. I don't know. But there's that. And that's what the Beast Dungeon is for, apparently. Because I only see 2 accessory sets for the Beast Dungeons. One of them is a Crusader-specific set, by the way. So this is only for male and female satyr, but it basically used the same kind of material, except it's not for deeps like this set is. It's just for like support, cooldown on your super armor, DI increase, stuff like that. So that's cool. And we've seen DFO have many kind of instances where they always give like preference to deeps classes or both satyrs. You know, it's like fucking crazy how much attention these fucking satyrs get. Anyway, so guys, we're nearing the end of the festival at this point. We've already revealed a lot of stuff. Like I said, a lot of epic revamps, a new boss dungeon. We've got the towers revamp, revamp of the UI, revamp of the explorer system, revamp of PvP, revamp of Saint Horn, a lot of revamps, new classes, and finally we're in the part where they kind of have developer panel and they get to talk about stuff. Basically, I'll just sum this up. They're going to hire a new kind of character balance guy. They got a new director, and they're going to have a new head of character balance. So maybe who supposedly knows DFO well. There's going to be a new character balance team. So maybe we might see some changes to some characters, buffs, nerfs, who knows. They're going to try to add some content where kind of bridge the gap between epic users, epic gear users, 12 out of 12s, and maybe Econ gear. So they might buff up Econ gear. Right now it's pretty strong. It's about the level of an 85 epic set, so we'll see what they're planning on that. Maybe just make it easier to get Econ gear or something like that. I'm trying to bridge the gap. They're going to change Saber Cross. I guess that's whatever. Leveling Aunts is going to be easier. Honestly, leveling has got to be the easiest thing in this game, period. So who's complaining about this? Because they're being complete bitches about that one. Because I ain't going to let you sit there and say leveling is hard in this game when, you know, when I got this many. Trust me, I played games where it was not possible to do what I've done in this game. But, so I guess they're going to make it easier, whatever. More achievement contents. There's hardly any achievements right now. I mean, it's kind of prestige based. Some of the achievements are straight up bullshit. You know, plus 15 your weapon. Like, fuck you, man. So hopefully they're going to be more accessible and maybe more reason to do them. Because if you're like a completely free-to-play player, it might be possible that you don't have like one of the package titles, in which case you might want to have like an achievement title, which are some legitimately good ones. Some of them give like a lot of inventory weight limit for farming. Some of them gives a decent amount of int, like for your female satyr or something like that. So hopefully they give better titles. And maybe even better, more unique titles that you usually don't see in the stat titles that you get in packages. So something to look forward to. Oh, this is actually a big point right here. So with the new classes, whenever they release new classes that don't reutilize some of the weapons that already exist in the game, which by the way I didn't mention it, but the new Gunblade classes are going to be using their own weapon type. Okay, so they've got for instance Kodachi pistol. This is going to be its own weapon type. I don't know if I'm almost certain that it's going to be just one weapon type per character. So it's going to be like a Kodachi pistol combo. But I don't remember the case. Maybe somebody let me know in the chat, honestly. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But basically, at the minimum, this is going to be 4 new weapon types added to the drop pool. And whenever you do that, you piss people off because, as you can imagine, you're increasing the drop pool. You're increasing the chances of getting some bullshit that's not for your class. I'm talking, you know, this is why everybody hates Lancer. This is why everybody hates Thief. Because they're exclusive classes. Literally one class of that subclass can use that weapon. And you keep getting it, you can get kind of pissed. Because, you know, all you're looking for is any kind of Slayer weapon. There's fucking 4. I don't care what it is, but you keep getting fucking Chakra, the weapon that was specifically designed for one class out of 59 in this fucking game. You get a Chakra, right? It's like the same argument can be made about any of the Lancers, any of the Thieves, and now any of the Gunbladers. So this is actually a pretty huge point that they said right here. They're going to try to balance Hell Mode. That even when they introduce new epic weapon types, your chance of acquiring equipable epics will not go lower. They didn't announce how they'll do it, but I've heard some people suggest or speculate that it may be a case of you being able to ban out certain epics out of the pool. I don't know if that's going to be what they go with. Maybe they'll just make it so that the drop tables will only select a certain number of alternative unequipable epics, something like that. In which case you won't have any control over it. It's just a matter of you got to trust the system. That might be what might be explained. I think what you've got to do is prove it, right? So you have to, like, you can't just tell them, trust us, guys. You're going to get the same rate of equipable epics as you do now, even when we introduce new classes. Nobody's going to fucking believe you. So they have to implement a system that people can believe in, that, okay, you can implement new characters without us getting pissed, which has been the problem for DFL, right? Even if they didn't release Gunblader and they released the Archer instead, you need to add bows, and now you're adding bows to the epic drop table, and now you're going to piss people off, and people are going to hate the fucking Archer because you done fucked up the other classes because of it. So they need to come up with something, and hopefully it's going to be something that people will get behind. All right, guys, so he manages concerts. All right, don't care. All right, so like I said, a lot of this stuff is not for DFOG, so I'm not going to go over it. DNF League, some of you guys know the DPL. This is a PvE league where they kind of go bum rush through Luke and, you know, have hyper clear times of that. They're going to try to introduce PvP into these leagues and make them a little bit more interesting. Not really related to DFOG at all. Same thing with more add-on features. There's going to be a DFO global animation. So anime, weeb, there's going to be 10 episodes. I don't know how the quality is going to be or what the story is going to be about, but it's only going to be 10 episodes, so don't expect like a whole fucking series. It's probably not going to be a slap-up party. It's going to be like probably high quality. So for you weebs, get hype. Tog Dolls, go check out like Breadton. He's going to be for sale. DNF check card doesn't have to do with us. And that's it. Okay. Again, thank you, Kino. We're gonna very quickly go over because it's taken me about a week to make this video. There's already like a schedule of the things to come. I could have just read this because it's a lot more realistic as to what's happening. But guys, the Epic Rework is gonna be coming first. It already came out. Actually, it's gonna come out next week. Again, I remind you, KDNF server. So don't think, oh fuck yeah, next week we're gonna get our 80, 85, and 90 weapons. No, ours is gonna come like in 6 months. So don't expect shit. Anyway, so they're going to implement the Epic Reworks ASAP, okay? Then they're going to implement the Demonic Beast Dungeon, which is going to be the big upgradable accessories and the hardest content in the game. Also, PvP Season 5. And there's going to be some restrictions removed. That's actually something that wasn't mentioned. Some classes that are currently banned right now can go jump into PvP, Chaos included. And you can suspect that they had to make a lot of balance changes, so don't expect Chaos to be like broken as fuck in there. I think I've already seen Chaos is going to be able to use her summons, obviously, but they're not going to do any hit stun, so it's just going to be like residual DOT whenever you're near Chaos. And I don't think while they're getting comboed, so it's not like that broken. Male mages, I'm surprised, dude. I played Swift Master, he was so effing broken. Same thing with the F Priest, they did so much damage, but we'll see how they balance that. Better equipment farming, we went over that. New characters are going to get released on the 18th of January, so Agent and Troubleshooter, they're coming with their second awakenings already. Then we come into the month of February, and that's where they're going to change the Saint Horn and combine them into one. Then on the 22nd, so a month after they release the first two classes, they'll release the second two, and we'll get a little bit more info on that. And then they're going to release the Empire Colosseum surprisingly, after the Demonic Beast Dungeon. So this is like the hardest content in the game, period, for your upgraded accessories. And then this content right here, Empire Colosseum, is for the tag team with your characters, which is coming afterwards, which is kind of weird. This seems like bonus content for... This can't be for the best gear in the game, but they haven't really expounded on this yet. So we'll see. I'm really excited for this. I want to see content on this. Tower of Anguish is going to get reworked. Okay, so they haven't announced this, but Explorer Club Revamp, what we already talked about, that's getting changed. And here's everything I talked about already. So thanks to JKRowlling giving us a timeline of when these are coming. Again, always try to add about 6 months at the bare minimum for any updates that get live. So you want to see these 85 to 90 reworks? You're going to have to wait until, mid next year. Okay, mid 2008. There's another post right here. I'm not going to go over it. Basically, a lot of classes got characters got changed. So balance patches are already hitting the streets right now. Here's the Epic Reworks. Here are some of the class changes. Amnesia Ring gets nerfed, by the way, so abuse that now. You're not going to be able to use it on certain skills like Throw Mastery. Shurikens are dead. You know, it gives a little bit more detail. So you guys go over this. This is what the gear, again, this is the gear that you get from the Demon Dungeons, the Beast Dungeons. And here's a bunch of class reworks in case you guys are interested. So big shout out to MetalPlateMage, because this is a lot of extra detail and a lot of buffs / nerfs coming to characters that if you're playing one, you obviously want to know about and maybe playing around. So give this one a look, guys. Well, my voice is giving out and it's really late. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. There was a lot of information here. My opinion is I'm very excited about a lot of this content. Biggest excitement for me is not the new classes. It's probably the rework. Epic reworks are kind of nice. The biggest one for me, honestly, I'm waiting for is right here, Empire Colosseum. I am dying to see this. I want to see content, and it just kind of like builds on the idea of you don't just play one character and just forget everybody else, right? You make at least a couple characters, and now we have an opportunity to use them both. It's pretty satisfying, honestly. It makes it more satisfying to play more than one character, and they need more systems like that, honestly. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This was a complete recap of the Winter Festival. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I will catch you knights later.